Welcome to Practical AI, everybody. My name's Jeff, and I'm with Peter. Today's topic, well, I'll just lay it out there. Peter, what do you need to effectively run a 70 billion parameter Llama model?
It's a great question, and it's probably interesting for a lot of people. There's a video that we'll include in the description. Someone did an experiment using a NVIDIA video card on a AMD CPU compared to an M1, I think it was an M1 Max and a M3 Max, fully loaded with 128 gigs of memory. So the punchline is, to run the largest Llama model, you need more than 40 gigs of memory.
Why is the memory important?
Well, it's because if you just do the math, when there's 70 billion parameters, you just multiply that by number of bytes you need for each parameter, which is a weight. And if you do the math, it comes to over 30 gigs of memory just to load the model. That's not even to even run it. That's just to load it.
And I'm not as savvy in this as you are, but in the 70 billion parameter model, they actually ran three different ones, right? I think a 7, 13,
Right.
or yeah, something like that.
Yep.
70 was the largest. It was the AMD one that kind of conked out. Well, the M1 conked out early. But the AMD kind of conked out, and it was something about switching from GPUs to CPUs, right? Can you explain that a little bit?
Right. So I think he was on a RTX video card, and I don't remember exactly how much memory he had in it, but it was less than 30 gigs, which meant that to run it, he had to run it on system memory, which means it has to run on CPU. So it ran, but it was really, really slow.
Okay.
Same prompt in when it was when it's the 7 billion model, it was faster than both the Max. But at some point, when you run into the memory limit, you can't run on a video card anymore. So it doesn't matter how fast your RTX video card is. If it requires more memory than your video card has, you can't run it.
Okay. So most bootstrapping modelers out there can't run this experiment, but probably don't even have the technology to run effectively run a 70 billion parameter model anyway. Is that fair?
Now that there's the M2 Ultra Studio from Apple and there's the new M3 Max MacBook, you can run the 70 billion model without either trying to load it in batches, which is tricky, or you can quantize it down really as small as possible. And maybe if you get two video cards hooked up together, you can get by with only spending $5,000 on multiple NVIDIA cards. Or if you've got the money, you fork out $10,000 for an A100.
Okay, so let's talk about just real quickly for the person that is not capable of not of even buying anything new. What should they be doing in terms of their Llama models? Should they be looking at something with way fewer parameters? Should they be trimming? Should they be what do you how do you get them into the model into the models without slamming their systems?
So if they only have 12 gigs of memory on a Windows system, your options are run the smallest one and then quantize it down to 8 bits. And then that'll basically run. It won't be super fast, but it'll run. If you've got a nicer, one of the newer video cards, like a RTX 4090 with 24 gigs of memory, then you can run the 7 billion without quantizing it, and it should be fine. If you're on a Mac, you can run, if you have 96 gigs or more, or actually if you have 64 gigs or more, you can run the 70 billion models just fine.
Is the average future user or modeler on a Mac? Is that probably where they're going?
So Macs are super popular in the machine learning world. A lot of people prefer using Macs
Okay,
because it's Mac OS kind of is very Unix like and Linux like. And so a lot of the things that you want to run just kind of runs. And that for many people is easier than on Windows. You have to install Windows services for Linux, and then there's an overhead. It's doing this translation thing, and so it's not as fast. And it's also more of a pain.
got it. Good. Well, it's fun to see people testing out the new Lama models and seeing what's capable or what's feasible on the current tech. And my guess is that these things will just get faster and faster. These machines will be able to handle more. Now, hopefully the models don't keep getting bigger and bigger too, though, right?
Well, they are, but they like realistically, Nvidia doesn't ever reduce their prices. That's one big complaint the last couple of years is they kept raising the prices for the top. The most expensive video card 10 years ago was like $500. And then around 2020, it went up to like $1,000. And now the high end 4090 is 1600 if you can get it, but you can't. And so it sells over retail price, the MSRP. It's selling for around $2,000.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why their stock price is through the roof right now, that's for sure. Well, this is a good topic. We'll stay on top of it. Peter, thanks for a little explanation. We'll include that video in the discussion box and be sure to like, subscribe, ask questions, and we'll try to stay on top of the answers. Appreciate it. Take care.